Morning Blitz begins now.
Well, you've made it to another Hawk Tuesday.
Kelly just rolled her eyes at you.
No, I didn't. I just don't pay attention anymore.
Oh, you know. I mean, the trademark's only going to go for another what? Well, how much life we got left in it? I mean, it's probably beaten to the point where it's dead.
That was a month ago. Now you've drug its just absolutely decrepit and deteriorating carcass around the streets of Columbus every day since then.
She keeps popping up, though.
It feels like it's been 3 months, 4 months.
Look, she's trying to live her best life.
Anyway, how was your night last night?
It was awful, but that's okay.
What
Everyone
happened? Do tell.
just
We
life.
need details.
Life is great. Life is good. Every day I wake up and thank God that I'm alive.
Is Tuesday opposite day?
Why? What do you mean opposite day? Oh, no.
I mean that you don't wake up wishing you were...
Every day I wake up and roll the revolver and see what happens.
Stop it.
Kidding.
Oh, my gosh.
Night.
Oh. Damn, I missed.
That truly is not funny. That is not funny.
Okay.
Honestly.
Well, you
that's
wanted me
awful. Don't say that.
Wasn't it you yesterday who wanted me to turn the suicide speech down so you could listen to the song?
Yes. I want you to quit talking about suicide. I would love that.
I was talking about Jacoby and his suicide prevention. Can you turn that down? Are you done yet? I want to listen to the song.
Ooh, boy.
Tell everybody you're kidding.
I am.
Okay.
It's not anything to joke about. It's a very serious thing. Seriously. There.
All right.
Did you have any type of DoorDash fails?
Not yesterday. I didn't DoorDash. I ate whatever was in the house yesterday, so I did not have a DoorDash.
All right.
There was no.
What was in the house?
What did I have yesterday? Oh, I did. I just did some quick pasta, like a little garlic pasta ensemble yesterday. That's all.
Just food.
Just food. Nothing impressive. Nothing impressive. I mean, the dogs were into it. They didn't get any, but they were into it. Like, Dad, I don't know what this is, but this smells phenomenal. Well, it's great, guys. You can't have any, but it does smell phenomenal. So.
Well, I finished House of the Dragon.
Yeah, and you weren't let down.
No.
Oh.
I'm not trying to spoil anything for anybody.
You also like Season 8, and most of us real Game of Thrones fans didn't, so I understand that you would not be let down by a mediocre season finale, second season.
He did it, had to do it anyway. Putting these preconceived notions in people's heads who haven't seen it yet.
Did I read that they're only doing 4 seasons?
Yes.
And this was season 2 that just ended? All right.
Yeah. I mean,
this is Cliff Notes, basically. So what they did when the original Game of Thrones book came out, George R.R. Martin essentially wrote a timeline of events that happened that led up to Game of Thrones, but without going into like novel-sized detail on anything. So this series is those Cliff Notes. It's just drawn out a little more, but there's not a ton of time to go on. I mean, I'm sure someone could get creative and try, but we saw what happened to Game of Thrones when there were no more books and the writers were left to their own.
Well, it's supposed to be just the story of Aegon.
Right.
You know, so I figure... Well, however it ends up with him is where this story ends.
Right, but there are 2 other Game of Thrones series in the works. One's next year, and the other one is an animated thing that they're working on. So there's plenty of gas in the Game of Thrones tank. But this particular series, only has 2 more seasons attached to it.
Yeah, they're not even going to start filming the 3rd season until 2025 sometime. So I don't know when the hell we're going to get that. But yeah, you mentioned the spinoff. It's a Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
That's it.
Is coming. I also saw teasers before it for the new White Lotus, the new The Last of Us, and the It prequel series called Welcome to Derry.
Yep.
So those are all coming soon to Max.
Yeah.
That sounds like some good television right there.
Does. Just in time for the winter when we can't go outside anymore. Hopefully. Did you walk Moses yesterday in this blazing heat?
You know, he refused to walk.
Really?
I mean, we really just toured our property a couple times. Then Charlie did take him out onto the Licking County Bike Trail, but he was slow going yesterday. That's unusual for him because he's got puppy energy still. But it was...
It was a little hot, though. A little hot, though.
It surely was.
He was probably like, Mom, AC, now.
Yeah.
What are you doing to me? Now, I was just curious. I saw a bunch of people out with their dogs yesterday. That's why I was like, man, are they really, did they ask for this? Or did
you got, I mean, honestly, like it makes your night a lot better if you can get the energy out of your dog during the day.
I wonder what your dog went, like I saw a dude at the park yesterday that like was walking his dog and he took his shirt off. I wonder if his dog looked up and goes, that must be nice to be able to do that.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
You know, anyway.
Yeah, it's tough out there for doggos.
That is for sure. Morning Blitz Trivia, what do you got today, Thick?
All right. $25 up for grabs to waterbeds and stuff. Just be the first one to text in the correct answer at 99700. There is a statue of this iconic music artist going up at the U.S. Capitol. It will be unveiled in September. Who is the artist? Be the first to tell us at 99700. Get the gift card.
It's Ozzy Osbourne on your Morning Blitz 623. I'm Lewis. That's Thick Rick. She's Kelly Quinn. Your Morning Blitz trivia question went a little something like this.
A statue of what iconic music artist is going up at the U.S. Capitol in September?
Billy Ray Cyrus. No?
Very close. Very close.
Okay.
No, it is Johnny Cash, the man in black.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. His likeness will be unveiled during a ceremony at the Capitol's Emancipation Hall, September 24th. The statue of the Man in Black will become a permanent part of the National Statuary Hall collection. A Little Rock sculptor named Kevin Kress from Cash's home state of Arkansas will create the bronze likeness of the country music icon. 8 feet tall. Will depict Cash holding a Bible and a guitar. So... And, yeah, Johnny Cash, man. That's pretty cool.
Johnny Cash is a legend.
Yeah, icon for sure. He's just well known for his honesty in his music, being so genuine, real life stuff.
He does one of the only covers that I think might be better than the original, and that's his version of Alice in Chains' Hurt.
It's, it's pretty good. They would agree.
Yeah, that's one of the only ones that I can say, man, okay, they might have done a better job with it. And that doesn't happen very often, if not at all.
Kelly and I will still stand by Manfred Mann's version of Blinded by the Light.
Yes.
Okay.
As opposed to Bruce. I know Bruce fans are just like,
I like to really focus in on an artist who I know I should know their music, and I don't. I've just never gotten into it. Mm-hmm. And Johnny Cash is one of those, and I might put him in the rotation for 2025 because I'm like busy. I'm full up with new music right now. Mm-hmm. Obsessions, rather. So he might be my 2025 obsession.
All right.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I need to, like, I know the basics. But I feel like Johnny Cash is a legend. I mean, I know he's a legend, but I feel like I should know Johnny Cash.
Did you watch the movie about him?
I haven't done anything about Johnny Cash.
Okay.
That's what I mean. I mean, I need to really focus on it. I need to set aside time and get into Johnny Cash. And I may have time for that next year.
I mean, that's the fact that you would set aside time just to get into Johnny Cash is pretty impressive in itself.
I usually do that every year. I try.
To get into Johnny Cash?
No.
Oh.
To get into to an artist that I've never gotten into before, just to learn a little more.
So is that where Kelsey Ballerini came from?
Kelsey Ballerini's not who I'm listening to.
Or not
It's
her.
Casey
Casey
Musgraves.
Musgraves. Same thing.
Casey Musgraves and Queen are this year's giant projects for me. I absolutely love both. There's so much that I never knew about Queen, so much music I never heard from Queen.
Oh, wow.
That I'm really into right now. And same thing with Casey Musgraves. Last year it was the Beatles. I took on the Beatles last year because I knew I should know more about the Beatles. Next year is Johnny Cash, guaranteed.
Carrie, thank you for correcting me. I said Alice in Chains. I meant 9 Inch Nails. I don't know why I said.
Oh, did you say
I
Alice
said Alice in
I
Chains.
didn't even catch
Sorry.
that.
Good catch. I did
Yeah, that was
not
wrong,
even
Lewis.
Yeah, I know. I was wrong. I didn't even realize. That's it.
Kelly, do you know one other than Hurt? Can you name one song title from Johnny
I
Cash?
fell into a burning
There
ring
you
of
go.
fire.
All right.
Folsom Prison Blues.
Yeah.
I know just a little bit.
Okay,
I know
well,
enough to know that it would be a great thing to get into.
There's a start there.
So, Charlie and I were in the car, and a song from Queen's Night at the Opera came up. I'm like, what is this? I've never heard this.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, how have you never heard this? I'm like, I've never heard that whole album outside of Bohemian Rhapsody and what's the other popular one on that record? There's
Queen
another.
is a band that was very, very musically ahead of their time.
Well, they were enormously huge, so I don't know how ahead of their time they were. They ushered into
That's
legendary.
That's what I'm
stuff.
saying. Sound-wise, Queen fits in a genre that's, probably decades past when they came out. Because they were doing stuff that no one else was doing at the time.
Yeah, that's why they got huge.
That's why they were huge.
Yeah.
And I think that anybody who came after them are just like poor imitations. Poor imitations.
Yes.
Okay, we've now got
But listen,
12 texts. I get it. I said Alice in Chains. I meant Nine Inch Nails. We're good. No need to add anymore. My God. Jesus.
They don't let you forget.
At all. Got it. Mistake made. Mistake corrected.
Welcome to Blitz Nation.
Seriously. Don't get me started on the weed mistakes.
They just want to make sure everybody's on the right page and everybody knows what they're talking about.
I know.
I appreciate them for it. I do.
I do. I get it.
All right, speaking of Blitz Nation, Will Gates from Columbus was the first one to text in Johnny Cash, so he's got $25 to waterbeds and stuff.
It's the Morning Blitz.
And now it's time for I've Got Something.
Let's see if these dummies have anything worthwhile for us.
All right. Who would like to go first this morning?
I can.
Okay. What do you
I
got?
got something. All right. Well, as we swim in the soup of politics during this presidential election cycle, it might be a great time to reintroduce ourselves to a phenomenon called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's basically where average to below average people think they know way more than they really do, and they tend to really brag about it. Like all of a sudden, we've noticed over the past how many years, the internet is full of experts on politics, vaccines, firearms, the Middle East, climate change, etc.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, so here is the Dunning-Kruger effect at work. All right, this is sort of how it looks. Say you spend a little time and read the entire Wikipedia page on global warming, and then you head right on over to X to engage climate scientists on the topic. So, you're engaging people who have spent years studying this topic, and you think you're a know-it-all now because you're Wikipedia smart. All right, there's some foolishness in that we can agree on,
Sure.
I think. Also, an interesting survey, multiple surveys show that most of us think we are above average at driving, which is statistically impossible. Most people are average drivers.
Right.
That's just statistics, right? That's how that works. So they say to some extent the Dunning-Kruger effect is present in everyone. Because number one, we're too ignorant to know what we don't know. Number two, our brains really want us to believe that we're above average, when in actuality we are likely just average. So that kind of explains the whole internet.
Right.
It may explain ourselves, our annoying friends, our annoying relatives, etc. People who may know very little about a topic but cannot wait to engage you on it. That is the Dunning-Kruger effect. And let me end with this. Socrates. I got these quotes off the internet, and I don't claim to know much about Socrates, but he did say,
It's Socrates.
the only true wisdom is knowing you know nothing. And then Charles Darwin followed that up with this little nugget. Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge.
Yes.
So I really thought that was funny and just a little slice of what's
That's
happening on the
interesting,
internet.
Because social media has made dumb people think they're smart.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
That's the Dunning-Kruger effect.
after Trump got shot, I said, this week everybody's an expert on Secret Service procedures.
That's right. That's right.
I told you the video I watched, didn't I? There's a YouTube video about the Trump assassination attempt where this guy's a Navy SEAL sniper and another guy, and they break it down. I mean, they debunk every, BS room. Oh, it was a failed government hit. No, it wasn't. It was, they break down everything. Down to what rifle was used. It's impressive.
Yeah.
I went down that rabbit hole. I'm like, these guys know what they're talking
So
about.
everybody's conspiracies are a bunch of BS.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But
Of course,
it was
like most of the time.
But again, you can listen to these guys talk and go, okay, they know their stuff. This dude knows what he's talking. He was talking about he could show you the thing from the
scope.
The scope. And he's like, people who say they shot the ear in purpose. He's like, I can't even see the ear.
It's
He had it through his thing, and he's like, this guy fired off 3 shots and wasn't a trained sniper.
Trump set it up and had him shoot him in the ear.
Yeah, I'm a trained sniper. I fired off 5 and still couldn't hit the ear. So it was,
Well, I guess there's no shame in admitting that you just aren't sure about something, or that most topics are very nuanced, and you likely have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
unless you're a true expert in something.
That's mankind's ego. It won't allow them to admit they were wrong or anything. It's like
it's how our brain soothes us, like I said, into thinking that we're above average.
Yep.
I don't mind admitting that. Last time I checked, none of us are walking on water anytime soon. We're all human.
To me, that's the easy way out. I don't know, man. I don't know. I have no idea. Ozzy Osbourne said it.
Although if you're in certain situations, the phrase "I don't know" is the last thing you want to say. So, who's next?
I got something.
Okay.
An Airbnb host went on TikTok and posted a video about a guest who stayed in their home for 3 weeks and racked up a $1,500 electric bill in 3 weeks. How do you rack up $1,500 worth of electricity
You're
in 3
with
weeks?
AEP?
No, you bring 10 computers and you mine crypto.
Oh,
they were
there
mining
you
for
go.
Bitcoin, which I guess just eats electricity like crazy.
We could have powered a neighborhood with what you used in electricity.
And you're like, well, is that why they got the Airbnb to do that, so that they didn't get the electric bill? Because the electric bill probably, with that $1,500, well, I don't know, 3 weeks, they were probably paying more than $1,500 to stay there. But here's the thing. The guest who did it made over $100,000 in those 3 weeks. Said, yeah, I'll pay the bill. No problem. Paid that $1,500 bill.
I like
Had no
it.
problem with it. There are a lot of Airbnb hosts who specifically have no crypto mining rules. I didn't know this was like a thing at Airbnbs.
Wow.
And I would say people probably do it to get out of the electric bill.
I wonder if the meters look like they did on Christmas Vacation.
Right? When you turn the lights on? That's
Yeah,
what it
swinging
is.
around.
That's probably what it is.
Everything else in the neighborhood goes darker.
Yeah.
I got something, and this is a lighthearted one. Have you ever wondered... You guys are familiar with karate, and when you advance levels in karate, you get a different color belt.
Yeah.
Are you talking about karate?
Karate, yes.
Okay.
Have you ever wondered why the karate belts are the way they are?
Why they're the colors? Or?
Yes. They go from white to yellow to orange to green to blue to purple to brown to red and black. Okay?
Yes.
Reason being is because fighters used to only be able to afford one belt. So they would keep dyeing it darker as they kept progressing. So when they originally bought the gi, the first belt was white. So when they advanced the level, they would have to go dye that belt the next color because they could only afford one belt. And then the colors kept getting darker and darker as the levels.
Why does it go from brown to red to black then?
Because brown is lighter than red and black.
Oh, is it like they consider that lighter than red?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like tan?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. So that's why the colors are what they are, and that's how the belts became what they became.
Is it? But
I think it's probably
not
different.
darker than red.
You're mess.
I'm not sorry. I'm just like in my head. I'm going. Wait a
Hey,
minute. This
get
color.
out of color wheel, man.
This color seems darker than that color. I
I'm
don't
just
know.
going by what they say.
I'm just asking.
Why didn't you
questions
just stick
about
with
it.
white the whole way?
Right,
They
why do you
wanted to distinguish themselves from the noobs.
Well, and it doesn't advance, for those who really know, it doesn't advance that quickly. You might be white with a yellow tip, or you might be, and then they put tape around that. They use the colored duct tape to put a tip on it.
Man, they really like to differentiate themselves.
They really do. There's a lot that goes into that.
I'm a half step better than you, so I need
Yeah,
something to wrap with different
yellow
colored
belt.
tape.
Yes, but I'm a yellow belt with an orange tip. Which outranks you. Sit down. Karate. Anyway, that's what I got today.
Kelly, you say that better than anybody I've ever heard say
right?
it before. Say it again.
Oh, I know. I was just trying to act like I knew something I
But
didn't
he-
know. Karate.
Oh, it sounds
so
so
good.
good. I don't know
thank
why.
you.
I don't know why, but the way you say it, it sounds great.
I want to go
You're
do
really
karate in the garage.
Right?
with Kelly.
My ego. I might go post on X about this.
You should. Coming up, dog owners do something with their pets that I wonder if you do, Blitz Nation. We'll get into that here in just a few.
Well, I would like them to text now so that we know when we come back.
Oh, you would? Okay.
Yeah. So if you vent to your dog, you're sitting there watching TV, your dog's next to you, there's nobody else in the house. Do you vent to your dog? Talk to your dog about stuff?
Live on the Morning Blitz, Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick, I'm Lewis. Do you vent to your dog about life? I'm pretty sure I do.
Do you? What do you say to him?
Do you really want me to say that?
I don't know. Well, maybe. Kelly, do you want to know what Lewis says to his dog?
Sure, why not?
It's probably not
Do
the
you tell
best.
him you're 25 and out plan?
They know.
They know.
It's probably best that I don't say what I vent to my dog about.
Well, almost half of people do. 45% of dog owners say their pet listens to them while they vent.
Well, because they pay attention, I think. Does Moses pay attention to you?
Not in
No.
the least.
No.
He
Okay.
won't even look at me when I call his name.
Well, see, my dogs stare right at me. So I feel like if I am venting at them, I have a captive audience.
The only time I get a good stare is right before mealtime.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay. Mine do that too, but...
Or if I'm really getting into those neck scratches and ear rubs. Oh, yeah.
You know, dogs recognize like single syllable commands and invisible commands, but when you're having a conversation with them, they don't know most of what you're saying, but they look at you, they pay attention, they're wondering when that treat's coming. You know, Moses hears Kelly. He's just like, well, she's not going to do anything. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, it's not mealtime. What do I care what she's saying?
Right. Exactly.
Elisa says she absolutely talks to her dog.
Yeah. Lisa Runcer said the same thing. 39% of Americans claim their emotional health is improved by their dog. And 25% see an improvement in their physical health. Dogs boost their owners' moods by making them laugh, playing, snuggling, all that fun stuff that dogs do. But giving them somebody to vent to.
Julie says,
It's a big deal.
My ex is a computer engineer, and he talks to his dog for hours about coding and software. That dog must sleep like a baby.
That dog's really got to be smart, too. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I never vent to my dog. I don't think about it. You will catch me talking to myself at the grocery store. Absolutely. If you see me and I'm by myself, you will see me talking to myself. But I would not talk to my dog as if he could understand. That just makes me feel silly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but I understand the connection, so I don't hate it, but it isn't something I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'll talk to him like, oh, you're the best boy in the world, best boy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll have that conversation with him, but I won't pour out my heart to him.
See, I feel like my dogs are the only ones that listen to me.
Well,
What?
maybe. Angela said, my dog knows things about me that no one else knows. He does not judge me, and he's still a wiggle butt.
Does your dogs go into the bathroom with you? Kelly, does Moses go to the bathroom with you?
No, not like I said, not unless it's mealtime. He'll
Okay.
follow me wherever I go.
Because
But
Forrest will go in the bathroom with me.
yeah, he'll paw at the door. Moses will paw at the door. He will. I'll be like, buddy, like literally, give me 30 seconds here, pal. But,
Yeah.
So yeah, you get followed into the bathroom.
I
huh?
do. Forrest will go in the bathroom, and if you're taking care of business, he'll sit there with you. I don't know if he thinks like he needs to hold your hand metaphorically while you're doing it.
Looks like you're in distress.
Right.
He's going to hang around. See
But-
if you need a emotional support animal.
But Forrest will wait for you to get out of the shower so he can lick your legs. Like that's his vibe. That's his
Really?
thing. Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, get all the water.
It's like
off
I can
those
see
legs.
him. Like I know when he comes in. It's like I know what you're doing. Then I'll get out, and he's like, "Ha!"
Moses likes Lubriderm lotion. If I put it on my legs, he will inevitably try to lick it off. He loves it. Isn't that gross?
No, dogs lick lotion,
Yeah.
so that doesn't surprise me. I don't know why.
But I
Cats
don't
will
have-
lick your underarms.
Oh, they will?
Yeah.
How did
While
you
you're
find that out?
sleeping. While you're sleeping.
Did you?
Cat owners.
Ron says he talks to dogs because they're good listeners and won't betray his confidence. Damn right.
Can we?
Now-
No. Beep, beep, beep. Reverse. Back up. How does Thick Rick know that a cat licks your underarms?
Our listeners who own cats have told us this.
Okay.
I
don't own a
acting,
cat.
Is this a Dunning-Kruger effect?
Yeah,
you
I was
act
not
like
here
you know
for the-
everything about cats,
I
but you
cannot-
haven't experienced it. I
No.
feel like he's experienced like multiple alley cats licking
Yeah,
at his
I have
armpits
never had
as
a
he,
cat lick my-
as
I've
he
never owned a
passed
cat.
out in an alleyway.
I
never
can
had a
promise you
cat.
that I was not here for the cat underarm licking conversation because
Me
that's
neither.
something I don't think I could let go of.
I wasn't here for that either.
All right. Tyler Hicks says, absolutely not. I don't want to burden my dog with the pain in the world, having thinking about all the crisis and politics that are happening. I want my dog to be a dog. Doesn't want to burden him.
Chris, it's Chris from Ovets. He said, my dog and I vent to each other when we share White Castles. Like, okay.
Sarah says, you ever vent to a human that's trying to give you solutions when you're not looking for them? It's infuriating. My dog never does that, so I will always choose my dog to vent to. I get my own whiskey and Coke. She gets a puppy cocktail, and we talk S.
I feel like if I plan my criminal activity to my dog, they aren't going to talk me out of it, but they're also not going to rat me out of it either. So it's kind of like a safe thing.
Well, if you vent to your dog, no problem. You're part of almost half the population.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
Recreational marijuana sales.
You been smoking?
No. I do not imbibe, but I know you enjoy and are even growing your own. So
they're getting so big and fat.
Mexican haze.
They are.
But recreational sales beginning across Ohio this morning. Adults 21 and over can legally purchase cannabis at various medical marijuana dispensaries that have been issued dual-use licenses and operating permits. About 15 dispensaries in central Ohio getting dual-use licenses. There are some that are still waiting for inspections, and others may choose to begin recreational sales at a later date. But as a reminder, Sergeant Ray Santiago with the Ohio Highway Patrol says you cannot drive high.
It's just like alcohol, and that's what we need folks to really understand is, that it is equally as unsafe to, consume any substance that's going to impair your ability to operate a motor vehicle safely and then get behind the wheel.
Yeah, I figure they're going to have to figure out a way to detect it.
Well, that was my question. There's no breathalyzer test for marijuana like there is alcohol. I wonder what they do. How do they do that? Well, now, I remember we did talk a while back.
They have experts.
Yeah.
Like you can go through a training so that you can detect whether somebody's high, and they can call in this expert, like different police agencies. Say, oh, well, we've got an expert to be able to see if you're high or not.
Do they bring them to the site where they've got you pulled over?
Yeah.
I wonder. I feel like a lot of longtime pot smokers would probably qualify for that position because they can tell.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's some type of a rapid test that they're maybe trying to get approved, but I don't know, man.
All right.
Just
I'm
don't
curious.
do it. Just be safe.
Yeah, it's like don't drink and drive.
Right, exactly. Several U.S. personnel have been injured in a rocket attack against a U.S. military base in western Iraq. It happened at the Al-Assad Air Base. It's not yet been confirmed exactly where the strike came from, but late last night, the U.S. Defense Department blamed Iran-aligned militia groups, calling it a dangerous escalation. The aggression comes amid growing fears that Iran will attack Israel over the assassination of a Hamas political leader last week. A federal judge has ruled, this is a huge ruling, that Google has violated U.S. antitrust laws in maintaining a monopoly over the online search business. D.C. District Judge Amit Mehta declared Google violated Section 2 of the Sherman Act, finding that the company illegally secured its dominance in the search market by paying billions of dollars to smartphone carriers like Apple to make Google the automatic search engine for their phones. And that effectively blocked any rival businesses from being able to compete. So interesting. The ruling doesn't demand any specific remedies, so the judge now has to decide the next appropriate steps. And experts say that could include specific orders to force Google to sell off parts of the company.
That's odd.
Google is going to appeal. We know that. So.
I know any new Windows computer you buy, they're trying to get you to use the Microsoft search thing. I mean, it's automatically there. And
it's annoying, too. It is annoying that they keep forcing that at you until you figure out how to sort of minimize it. But I'll tell you, you brush your mouse over that Microsoft search engine, and then just a giant pop-up comes up. It is highly annoying. And Google is a really... I don't want to say it's the best, but it's the superior search engine.
It is.
I haven't found a reason to switch.
It uses a lot of your memory, and it opens a lot of unnecessary tabs at one time. If you ever look at your task manager when you have Google Chrome open, you'll see Google Chrome, and you'll see like 17 different things open with it.
Really?
It's annoying.
Plus, I know there's a privacy issue a lot of people have with Google, so there's that.
Yeah, you got to be more careful on the hub if you're using Google.
I have tried like Bing and DuckDuckGo and things like that, because I'm like, at some point in my life, I was concerned about my privacy, which I've just abandoned completely at this point. But they aren't great. They're not as good as Google.
No, they're not. Remember Internet Explorer?
Yeah.
Gone.
Netscape.
Gone.
Remember Netscape?
Yeah. I mean, we used to go to Yahoo. as our
That's
search
right.
bar.
Who was the go-to?
All right, guys, those are your 3 things.
Rob Zombie on your Morning Blitz, 7-11 with Thick Rick, Kelly Quinn, and Lewis. Some possible thunderstorms this afternoon and a hot one today. We'll see a high of 93, so stay hydrated. Ready to play the F-word game? You know how,
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters right now. It surpassed The Passion of the Christ as the biggest R-rated movie.
And it's got 118 F-bombs in it, which is
necessary.
It seems like a lot, but it's a long, long way from the record.
All right.
All right. So we got Joe on the phone. Joe, where are you at this morning?
On my way to work, Columbus, Ohio, on the west side.
All right.
All right, Joe. Let's effing go.
So Joe's trying to win tickets to the movie Borderlands, and we're going to give you 2 movies, and you tell us which one has the most F words in it. We will start with Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler or The Wolf of Wall Street with Leo DiCaprio. Which one has more F words?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Actually, the record.
Really?
Yes, 569 F-bombs in The Wolf of Wall Street.
I thought Step Brothers would have had the record.
Uncut Gems has 560, so very close. Very close. All right, let's try, how about Goodfellas or The Big Lebowski?
Goodfellas.
Yes. 300 for Goodfellas, 281 for The Big Lebowski. All right, so far so good. Get one more and you got the tickets. True Romance with Christian Slater or Scarface with Al Pacino?
Oh, I feel like this is a trick one. Scarface?
They were very close.
No.
True Romance had 234, Scarface 226. All right. Let's go with 8 Mile with Eminem or Hot Tub Time Machine with John Cusack.
Ooh. 8 Mile?
There it is. Got 3 out of 4, man. Nice job.
Know your F word.
It is the greatest adjective in the world.
It is.
I mean, it can be a noun, verb,
So many-
pronoun.
so many uses.
So many different uses. Versatility is the key with that word. Zeppelin on your Morning Blitz, 724, Thick, Kelly, Lewis. And there is a biopic that is about to come out, or a biopic, as Thick would normally call it.
I just like the sound of that better.
There's been several of them, but this one might be interesting to Kelly because Kelly read the book in his teen Britney. So, are you aware of the Britney Spears biopic?
Well, I did this in the news when it first came out a couple weeks ago. So, yes, I am.
Okay.
There was a giant bidding war for it. And I'm excited about it. I really am. It's going to be the first one that's actually okayed by Britney Spears herself. So,
Well, because it's about her book, right? So, but the only problem with that is when it's okayed by the person who wrote the book like that, it's kind of one-sided.
Well, I don't
isn't
know.
any biopic one-sided? It's based on that person.
Yeah, but you're only getting that but when it's based on this book, you're only getting that person's perspective.
Yeah, well, Justin Timberlake can put out his own movie. How about that? If that's what you're worried about.
Well, no, but I say this because there's a Michael Jackson biopic right now that's taking a lot of heat because all the stuff that you would want to see in the Michael Jackson biopic has been left out because it's his estate that's signed off on producing it. So they're not letting
I see what you're saying.
They're not letting anything that might be negative show up. I mean, even the Queen biopic, exaggerated or not, there was still some of the negative came up. You know, they
sure,
touched on the fact that Freddie Mercury was, man horn it all around back in the day. Like, I mean, anything that was negative, they did still let in a little bit. But in this case, are they going to keep... I would be curious as to what's being kept out as well.
You've read the book. Is there anything negative in the book?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, everything about her conservatorship is negative against her family. Everything about the Justin Timberlake thing is negative.
But is there anything negative about herself?
But I mean, it's her perspective.
Okay, yeah.
It's like
right.
her experience. It's her life. She
Okay.
wrote about it. What do you expect out of somebody's personal memoir?
No, that
this
makes
is a
sense.
memoir of her life. This is her perspective.
So John M. Chu will direct this, and he also does Wicked.
Mm-hmm. You know who John Chu's done a lot of stuff.
I'm not familiar, I guess. I mean, I probably know some of the stuff he's done. I just don't know it goes with him.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I'm trying to think of what he's done. He directed Crazy Rich Asians. He's done Now You See Me Too.
Okay.
He did Step Up. He did G.I. Joe Retaliation. I mean, again,
All right.
I'm not giving you like gold medal examples there, but he has done some stuff.
And Wicked.
But
the question is, who would you cast to play Britney?
If it was me, I would cast Britney Spears.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Well, but aren't we going to have a young Britney?
Maybe, but I would cast Britney as Britney if I could.
Yeah, but seeing Britney act in, what was that movie she did?
Crossroads.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know that. There's got to be a better choice.
I don't know.
Yeah, but she'd be playing herself. So I don't know.
It brings some, I mean, if we're doing like sort of a dramatization of somebody's life story, I guess you do have to pick a legitimate actor, but
I think I like my biopics that are not just from one person, they're from all sides. I was huge hope that this Prince biopic was going to come out because it was based on the book that his wife wrote, and that got shot down by his estate.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a documentary. This is a biopic. So we're not talking, a documentary is maybe what you're wanting about Britney Spears, like a legitimate documentary.
I want a good multi-sided biopic.
Okay.
And I get it. You're Team Britney. I understand this. You read the book.
I mean, I understand what the movie is. It's going to be about her memoir. That's what the movie is. I'm not expecting there to be other perspectives in it.
Okay. I guess it's all about perspective.
I feel like maybe you do want, maybe you're looking for a documentary.
Yeah, no, this is a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people say Sydney Sweeney, and I'm like, no.
I love Sydney Sweeney. I would absolutely A-OK Sydney Sweeney in this. I think she'd be great.
I like Sydney Sweeney, but no.
Yeah, it just, at this point, I don't know. I had a try. I was like thinking of this. Who could it be? And if we're going to go back to like 18-year-old Britney, I think McKenna Grace is the only one I could come up with.
I don't know who that is.
McKenna Grace? She's been in, let's see.
She was in both the new Ghostbusters movies. She was another genius that Sheldon met at college in Young Sheldon. That's where I first saw her. When that show first came out.
I mean, she'd be a young Britney for sure.
Yeah, the 18-year-old, because McKenna's 18.
Yeah. She was in Captain Marvel. She was in The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
She was in The Handmaid's Tale. See, I was thinking more along the lines of, if you're going to cast Britney, cast a musician in the role, and maybe do someone like a Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay, somebody who can actually sing.
Yeah, not that Britney could ever sing, but I mean, it was, no, I'm not being mean to her. I'm just saying, of that genre of pop diva that came out, when it came to Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Jessica Simpson, Britney was arguably the worst vocalist of them.
But they knew how to market her. That's for sure.
I'm right. Star Sets on the Morning Blitz, 7:39. Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick, I'm Lewis.
You are.
I've been anti-AI. I think I've been pretty vocal about the fact that I've been anti-AI for a while, right?
Yeah.
There is one thing I saw that was AI generated. I think it was yesterday or Sunday, maybe, that I thought was kind of cool. They had this video, and it was old celebrities that were kind of like interacting with their younger selves. So you had Harrison Ford now interacting with Harrison Ford when he was Indiana Jones. Like they were just kind of, it looked like a family photo, like a father and son kind of thing. And they had a bunch of them. They had like an older, Julia Roberts was in it. They had like George Clooney when he was interacting with younger Tom Cruise. Like it was just a really cool, it was AI generated, obviously. But it was a really cool video of all like, the younger version of them with their current version. And it was kind of fun to watch.
I like a lot of things about AI. As I've always said, it's the bad people that will do bad things with it.
Yes, this is true. But now people are using AI for friendship.
It's actually called Friend. That's the name of the product. It's all over social media. It launched last week. This is a pendant, Kelly, a necklace you wear around your neck that listens to everything you say, and then makes comments to you via text message. Like you can walk along alone and you can say things, and then you'll get a text from your pendant, your quote friend, your AI friend, responding to things that you're saying for $99.
I mean, is there a monthly charge, or is it just $99 and you've got yourself a friend?
This just says you pre-order them for $99 and they'll ship early next year. So I don't see anything about like a membership, like a monthly. I think you just have it and it works.
I am curious about this because, like I told you earlier, maybe an hour ago or so, that I talk to myself incessantly, especially at the grocery store.
Right.
I don't know why that brings that out in me, and I'm trying to remember what I need, obviously, at the store. And then I'll just, I have thoughts, and I will, this is I don't know. But I will speak out loud to myself under my breath. And I would love to know what that necklace would say to me.
I don't even do it under my breath. But I told you, I read a story about talking to yourself is a sign of genius.
Well, there you go.
You're a brilliant
I'm about
woman.
as genius as they come, then. I talk to myself constantly.
Do you guys remember the Tamagotchi?
Yes.
Never had one.
No, but do you remember it? The virtual
my
pet?
nieces and nephews had them.
Mm-hmm.
They beeped and they were hungry or tired or whatever. Yeah.
People are calling this Tamagotchi with a soul.
I'm just curious to know what an AI necklace would say to me after I'm mumbling under my breath about, I forgot I need to get some, almond milk or whatever.
I see why people would do it, though. Because there are some people that just revel in being alone. But there are other people that struggle with loneliness. So if you have an AI friend that talks to you, maybe it takes some of that away. They say the average person has 4 to 5 friends. And that hasn't changed in 50 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there's a difference between friends and acquaintances. I think we have a lot of acquaintances, but, not that many real friends.
Yeah.
So, and if the world is taking you in different directions from those friends, then there's a good chance that you probably spend a lot of time alone.
Steve said I talk to myself when I need an expert opinion. So, this sounds more like an imaginary friend that you can say anything to and get a response from. But I'm just wondering, all that stuff you say, is it stored somewhere, I wonder?
Of course it is.
Only on the necklace, or is it...
No, it's stored somewhere. This is all the information that you ask Alexa and Siri and all that. You don't think that's being stored? I don't think that's a stretch to say that we are just absolutely freely giving over everything about us, and now including our inner thoughts.
Yeah. The commercial for this thing shows a woman eating. She's watching a show on her phone. All of a sudden, a message pops up on the text and says, "Show is completely underrated." And then asks if her pasta is any good. She actually drips some pasta sauce on her necklace. And she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry about that." And she gets a text on her phone that says, "Yum." I'm like,
okay, that's just creepy,
man.
weird,
I know,
wrong.
right?
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah.
And if you think your necklace is alive, then you're dumb.
I don't know. I might want to try it out. I'm interested in it. Let's put it that way.
Right.
I see where you would think that that's dumb, but also I'm interested in the technology.
Sean asked my definition of a friend. I think the friend is someone that doesn't want anything from you, doesn't care if you can do anything in return.
That's like this necklace. It doesn't want anything from you.
But when you're moving, that friend shows up to help you move.
Right. Well, I've always said a friend is a person that if you get pulled over for drinking and driving at 3 o'clock in the morning and you get arrested, you can call them to come wake you up and bail you, or to come down and bail you out. That's a real friend.
Yeah. So, and again, I'm probably jaded, and I know I am. Like, I have a ton of acquaintances in my phone that, if there's a concert they want to see, all of a sudden my phone goes off. I'm like, do you really think I'm that much of a moron that I don't realize that the last time you contacted me was when there was another concert that you wanted to see?
That was pre-pandemic.
Right. So, but that's where
So you would prefer an AI necklace over that kind of friend?
Sure. But I don't call them a friend. I call them acquaintances. A friend is someone that if I need to have a conversation with someone, they're going to be real with me about something. That's how I don't want someone to tell me that I'm right. I want someone to tell me where I'm right and where I'm wrong.
Well, maybe we should all get one of these and do some show research. See what happens.
I don't want one.
Well, I know, but not because you want one, because we just want to.
Here's my thing.
See.
Do you have? I mean, you obviously have to talk to it to get it to talk back to you.
Yes.
So, all right.
And I got to wear this thing around my neck every day, or
yeah.
No, you don't have to do anything. That's the beauty of it.
Why can't I just use my Alexa for the same purpose?
You do. People do. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. I mean, it's like when you're playing video games, when it's just single player and it's got some type of interactive feature in it. I mean, it's a similar thing.
Yeah.
It's like you're interacting with something that's not real.
Right.
But something you're engaged with. And I don't know that that's a horrid thing. It's just a little bit of entertainment.
But I think it becomes real to some people.
Well, a recent study at Stanford found virtual friends could be helpful to people who live alone or just don't have a lot of friends to turn to for advice. So I wonder if this thing kind of gets to know you. You know, I mean, it is AI, so I assume it's going to get to know you, and its responses are going to, you know, maybe if you say something, the response it had 6 months ago will be different than what it is now. I don't know.
I can really see myself getting annoyed with it, though.
I can too, especially
Because-
if it disagrees with you.
Well, the thing is because human
real
beings
friends for
are
this.
nuanced, and just because you say one thing one day doesn't mean it's true 5 days later.
Sure.
I mean, human beings are nuanced like that.
Yeah.
Your ideas can change. And if you have something or someone who keeps an absolute record of what you've said every day of your life,
That's what I'm saying.
that's annoying.
Some days you interact with people and you're so angry you want to spit in their direction and, you know, pee on the ground that they walk on, and then all of a sudden when you calm down, that changes. Maybe.
Yeah.
Would you do an AI friend, though? That's what I want to know from Blitz Nation. Would you be into this, or do you think this is a little creepy, a little weird? 3 Days Grace on the Morning Blitz, 7:51 with Thick, Kelly, and Lewis, talking about this new AI system called Friend, where if you don't have any friends, you can create one via AI, and they'll keep you company when you're lonely at night.
Nick is not having it. He's seen the Terminator movies.
I'm with him.
Don't you guys know what's going on here?
I'm with you, man. I've been saying this for years. Just because you could doesn't mean you should. That's why I always say thank you to my Alexa, because when they take over, I can at least say, hey, wait, I was nice to you. I got 25 and out anyway. Don't waste your time on me.
JC says, Lewis, you're just waiting until they combine AI with robotics.
Josh said maybe I should just befriend the necklace before the machines take over, so I have an in. You're right.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
That's true. I can see why people would be attracted to something like this, though. I really can. Loneliness is a real thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, I guess as long as you don't, you know, as long as you can separate fantasy from reality. There are people out there I feel like might get too far over the edge.
Teetering on the edge of something that feels not right.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
So I guess maybe in some cases psychologically it could be helpful. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I think, you know, is in certain cases, if you're so lonely, especially around the holidays, are you so lonely? Is this better than nothing at all?
Right. Like it's the act of interaction.
Right.
That may soothe your psyche or something. I don't know. I'm curious about it. I will say that.
I wouldn't do it, but I'm saying I can understand where there are a certain aspect of people that might, or a certain group of people that might.
During the 3 Days Grace song, Lewis, you brought up the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix
and Scarlett Johansson.
And Scott just brought that up. He said, has anybody seen the movie Her? It's only a matter of time before people try to have sex with it. Well, I don't know what you're going to do with a necklace. I mean,
but they brought in
about like phone type sex, if that's what you mean.
No, she brought in a physical female.
The robotic.
Yeah.
Oh, you know people are going to get dirty with this friend thing. That's the first thing that's happening with this. Mm-hmm. It's $99 you can get dirty with a necklace.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt about it.
A talking necklace.
I mean, Howard on Big Bang Theory invented a robotic arm and hand. That's all and where was he? He was in the emergency room because it was stuck to his junk. Immediately. That was the first thing he did.
I believe at the end of Her, spoiler alert, he found out that every other Her also had a him, because it was just, doing the same thing to hundreds of other people.
Right. Yeah.
Because he thought it was exclusive to
Well, I do feel like, and Eva brought up, you don't need a necklace, buy yourself a dog. I agree that a relationship with a dog is more real than a relationship with an AI necklace.
Yes.
So that may soothe the relational needs that you have.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tor said, wouldn't have to worry about the necklace stealing from you or screwing your girl. I've got lots of acquaintance, but only 2 real friends, and that includes my Siberian Husky. I'm with you, Tor.
Yeah.
I get it, man.
Yeah. The dog, that's the only thing. The dog can't text you back specific sentences, but I mean, if you need that, you need that.
I'll tell you what, though, man. A dog, if you have a good dog, and Kelly, you know this because Rick, you know this too, you're a dog guy. If you have a good dog, man, that constant companionship does a lot for your mental stability in certain situations in life, knowing that you're at least going to go home to that.
It does. There is a relational exchange with a dog that's very real, So I think that might be healthier than getting an AI necklace.
The problem with a dog is they just don't live long enough.
Right.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like, I mean, when you get a dog, you're probably 10 years away from the worst day of your life.
And Bobby says, put the necklace on the dog.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And now, all right, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
2 Grove City police officers who were escorting an inmate who escaped back in June are being disciplined. The department says officers Carrie Rose and Brian Strasser are getting 5-day suspensions for not using trained escorting techniques on Quintel Bagley. Authorities say Bagley was being taken to a cruiser outside Fairfield Medical Center when he took off on foot while wearing handcuffs. He then reportedly stole a car from a nearby home, and he has been on the run ever since. He had been arrested on June 13th for allegedly kidnapping his ex-girlfriend. He kidnapped the same woman on the west side of Columbus this past Friday.
Oh my gosh. I wonder what happened to that
she was
guy.
able to get away. What is up with this guy? And they still don't have him in custody. That's the update on that story. The opening bell rings this morning after a disastrous day on Wall Street yesterday. A global market sell-off caused the Dow Jones Industrial Average to have its worst day in almost 2 years due to fears that the U.S. economy is heading into a recession. Well, if you've had COVID lately and it's knocked you on your butt, or maybe you've tested positive for the first time since the pandemic even started, you likely have a new COVID variant called KP 3.1.1.
Coronavirus!
Right now, about 1 in 4 cases are this particular variant. But this variant has doubled in the U.S. in the past 2 weeks, so we know how that works after living through COVID. Public health experts say it's much more infectious than previous variants. It has figured its way around any immunity you might have naturally, any immunity you might have from a previous COVID infection, or any immunity you might have from any existing vaccines.
So we need a new vaccine? Is that?
Well, I don't know. This has worked its way around it so far.
Gosh.
So
Wash them hands for 20 seconds!
As we know, the existing vaccines don't prevent you from getting COVID anyway. So those vaccines are not foolproof from the jump. They haven't been. But anyway, just to let you know that a lot of people, and in fact, right here in the building, who've never tested positive for COVID in the past, have tested positive with this new variant.
And it was brutal on them.
And it was difficult. Yeah. I guess there's been detection of high levels of COVID-19 in wastewater in about 20 states. Here in Ohio, the wastewater viral activity level is labeled moderate. We are not at very high in Ohio yet. So there you go. And those are your 3 things.
Get drunk before everything closes.
Yeah, shut us down next.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. They better not.
Hope not.
Nobody will let them.
Into this on the Morning Blitz. It is 8:08 with Dick, Kelly, and Lewis. And we were talking about this, I believe this came up last week, that the sanctions for the University of Michigan were on the verge of happening based on all the stuff that went down last year. And some of it has kind of leaked out. Harbaugh made a statement yesterday.
What'd he say?
Not apologizing. I didn't do anything wrong. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to get back to focusing on the Chargers.
Well, the new coach, Sharon Moore, he was the offensive coordinator there, last year and the year before that. He's now the head coach. So on the day last October that the media reported on Stallions being the man behind the illegal off-field sign stealing operation, Moore immediately deleted 52 text messages with Connor Stallions from his phone. This is a level 2 violation of NCAA policy. So now they're adding him to a possible suspension. Okay,
I guess what phone records would show that you deleted those, or how do they know that? I guess is how do you ever know that somebody just deleted a bunch of their own personal texts?
Moore's deleted texts were later recovered through a device imaging, and he subsequently produced them to enforcement staff.
Whoops-a-daisy.
He's also seen as a potential repeat offender by the NCAA. He was suspended for last year's regular season opener by the school for, was that, what gate? Was that Cheeseburger Gate? Is that what they were calling that?
I think so, yeah, because they took him out to lunch or something.
Yeah, during the COVID-19 recruiting dead period, which I thought that's dumb. You know, oh my God, he gave a kid a hamburger. Whoop-de-doo. It's not like you bought him a car. Come on. You just gave a guy a hamburger. But, you know, Harbaugh is accused of once again failing to cooperate due to denying NCAA requests, as you said, Lewis. They wanted to look through messages and phone records from his personal phone related to the case, but he no longer works at Michigan, so he doesn't have to do anything.
No, and they were saying, I heard something say that it'll probably be a slap on the wrist. Most of the people who would have been involved in this have already lost their jobs and are not going to coach anymore in college football. There will be something that Harbaugh might get that says either he cannot coach again or he has to go through something before he can coach again. But for him, I don't think it matters. He doesn't want to go back.
Yeah, no. I mean, it would only affect him if he ever wanted to go back to college.
Right, which he probably doesn't want to do. He wants to win a Super Bowl and then most likely retire.
Right. Let's see. There's also allegations that multiple Michigan football interns and at least one other full-time program employee knew about the scheme and participated. So everybody knew except for Harbaugh. Is that what you're trying? Really? Are you really trying to convince us of that?
Plausible deniability.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I don't get. Like, if you didn't know what was going on, you are the worst manager of people ever.
Right?
Like, that's your watch. I mean, that's part of that's part of where the responsibility falls on him. Even if he didn't do it directly, it's your watch.
Yeah, they call it lack of institutional control.
Right. So. And I think, isn't that why Sean Payton got nailed for the suspension in the NFL? Because it was the people on his coaching staff that were, hey, dude, buck stops with you. Yeah. You're the one that's in charge.
Super duper hot tip. Don't ever text your coworkers about anything personal, anything illegal, or anything highly emotional at work. Do not, because those will come to light, or they could come to light, and really bone you in the end. So just don't do it. Take it from me. I learned that the hard way. You sort of think you're in a private conversation that will never be made public. And if it benefits maybe one of the recipients to make it public, it will be made public, whether you want it to or not. So take it from me. Don't text that kind of stuff with your coworkers, okay? Like Ben Franklin said, 3 people may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. All right? You can't keep secrets when more than you are involved.
Just so you both know, I sent you a text that has a picture attachment. Just go ahead and delete that.
Oh, okay. So Netflix has a new documentary coming out. It's part of their series Untold.
Yeah.
This one comes out on August 27th.
Oh, I saw this. It's being advertised on Netflix right now.
It's called Sign Stealer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's all about this whole
Stallions.
This whole deal.
And he's interviewed. I mean, he's in this documentary.
Yeah, he's the center point of it.
It's not like it's about him. He's in it. So that's that'll be good.
So that comes out 3 weeks from today. Mm-hmm. I definitely can. I'm definitely going to want to look.
Those have been pretty good. The one about the Florida Gator one was pretty good.
Yes.
The Johnny Manziel one was pretty good.
Yeah,
they've done a good
great
job on those. That should be fun to watch.
So we are what?
Couple couple weeks.
We're 3 weeks from Saturday is game one. Buckeyes game one. That means 3 weeks from Friday, Jeff Logan will be in this studio.
Bring me the horizon on the Morning Blitz, 824 with Thick, Kelly, and Lewis. Good morning. 92 and some thunderstorms this afternoon, so take an umbrella and stay hydrated.
All right.
You guys feel like you're becoming like your parents?
Oh, gosh, probably. Probably in ways I might not want to acknowledge. I have to think about it. I think it's almost inevitable.
You think so?
I think. I could be wrong, unless you came from a very intensely negative upbringing, in which you might try to do the exact opposite of everything that you had ever been surrounded with.
Rebel.
I think that if you had a generally decent and happy upbringing, you may just perpetuate what worked, I guess. And plus, you can't help if your DNA in ways that might make you like your parents in that way.
There's a couple of things with my mom that I feel like I am kind of channeling despite my best efforts not to. But I also think it's weird that when I hear... My grandmother has been dead for a while now. But when I hear my mom talk now, she sounds like my grandmother. Like the things she would say and the tone and everything, it sounds like I'm talking to my grandma, which I think is kind of weird.
I look back and my grandmother was right about everything she ever said. That's what I think about.
Yeah. Well, a lot of us are worried that we're becoming like our parents. The average person realizes they act like their parents at 30.
Well, I mean, I'm more responsible and organized now, I guess, but I'm not washing my trash cans.
You're not?
No.
Are you, do you have a sign in your house that says live, laugh, love?
No.
Okay.
No.
Kelly, before you go to the airport, do you tell Charlie you don't worry about buying food because you packed lots of healthy snacks?
Oh, well, they're not healthy, but yes, I've packed the snacks. Never fear.
Hey, what you doing?
Just cleaning my trash cans.
Wow. I see you put your address and phone number on here.
Well, you can never be too safe.
With trash?
Don't look at the hedges, they're a mess.
No one's looking at the hedges.
I love those commercials.
Dr. Rick.
I will say, as a personal example, my mom was just very determined to be early to any appointment. And the anxiety that she would drum up in her as we were trying to get somewhere early, not on time, early, that is absolutely replicated itself in my life.
Yeah.
How whipped up I can get knowing that I have 20 minutes to get to a place 10 minutes away. I see that in myself regularly. And that, like, my mom is even worse now. Church will start at 9:30 and she's determined that we have to leave at 8:30. We have to leave at 8:30 for a church that is 12 minutes away. Okay, so we're talking more than 45 minutes early at this point. Oh, my God. So it has only gotten worse for her. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm looking at my future here.
Wow. I remember this one time I was in a store and I ran into LL Cool J and someone chastised me because I wanted to show him pictures of my nephew. And then take a selfie. It was weird.
Oh, jeez.
These are my tissue box covers.
Remember, tissues come in their own boxes. It's important for young homeowners to let go of the things turning them into their parents.
There we go.
All right, who's next?
I've been holding on to these pieces of crown molding because you never know when you're going to need them.
I do, and it's never.
Right.
Although I did use a piece of wood in my garage not too long ago that I thought would never be needed. Or sorry, in the garage. So, yeah, I think it's somewhat normal maybe to become...
Well, I saw one of the things, which goes with what you were just saying, Kelly. It was being specific about leaving early for the airport. Getting to the airport way too early is something that people say they've adopted that their parents did.
Not trying to dash through the TSA with just enough time to get to your gate.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Kelly's right. In some ways, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. I think as you just get older, you become...
I think sometimes it holds true. The harder you try to avoid doing something, the more you end up doing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think, you know what I mean? The more you try to, if you fight to change a certain personality trait and you just realize you can't change, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Also, pay attention to what bugs you in your parents, because it's likely what bugs you in yourself as well.
Oh, okay.
Something is really under your skin about your mom or dad or something, or somebody whoever raised you. Just do a little self-reflection. I found that to be true in my own life.
All right.
Yeah.
Now remember, they're not programs, they're TV shows. You woke up early. No one cares. Guess what? The waiter doesn't need to know your name.
Nope.
Derek sent us a picture of the Dr. Rick book. There's a copy of the Dr. Rick book in the living room in my house.
Oh, is that right? Is that to prevent?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is he being proactive to prevent himself from becoming like his parents?
Deals for people?
Oh, it's so rare.
No, I don't.
It's,
I just plan on them seeing a missed call, and if they call me back, they call me back.
I mean, unless something's really important.
What was wrong with that voicemail? I didn't tell him when I called.
I remember the one where they said, mute your phone. She's like, I don't have mute on my phone. Everybody does, right here in the corner, man. It's right there.
It's the Morning Blitz.
It's time for another edition of Normal or No.
I'll go first.
Oh, all right.
If you don't, unless you want to. You were just
fine.
like, fine, go first.
Oh, just have at it.
It's Thick, Kelly, and Lewis. Normal or nope? Eating your pizza backwards because you want the last bite to be delicious pizza.
The last bite is the crust, and that is the most delicious part, in my opinion.
Okay.
I love crust.
Well, if that's the most delicious part to you, then I understand that. Yeah.
Right. Yes, I would never eat a pizza backwards.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know if I do. I think the last piece of pizza I will ever get is the crust, but I think the way I do is I kind of work my way around. Like, I'll rip part of the crust off, so I've got like a little piece of crust left to hold.
A tiny pizza.
To hold, yeah, and then I'll eat it the rest of the way. So, yeah, my last bite is typically crust, but, there are some people who...
That middle of the pizza is the best part of the pizza.
Well, I also think it depends on the way your pizza is cut. If it's a square cut pizza, as opposed to the pie-shaped, there's a little more to leave if you eat the crust first.
I will tell you, I won't eat a piece of pizza if there's no crust on it. Like, if it's square cut, I'm not eating the middle
You
parts.
won't touch the center, really?
Not at all.
Okay.
No, I want crust on it.
Okay.
That's how much I love pizza crust. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you like it thick and chewy, or do you like it crispy?
Anyway.
Or?
I will take a Tommy's thin cracker crust
but
to
you're not eating
a
those middle
thick,
pieces.
but I'm not eating a middle piece.
Yeah, because Tommy's does squares. So, all right, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think my wife Heather would probably agree with you. She loves crust.
Love it.
So,
normal or nope? Arriving at a concert 2 hours before the doors open to be the first in the merch line.
Is that what your mom would do?
Like, yes. She'd be like, this concert starts at 7. We better leave at 3. And I'd be like, all right, sounds good.
Jeez.
I'm an early arriver. I am. And if there's some piece of merch I might absolutely just be dying to have, I can see myself being fine with getting there 2 hours early.
As much as I wish I could arrive that early, I don't think I'm genetically capable of it. And there's no merch that I would arrive early for.
It's like
sorry.
Giant waste of time.
Yeah.
I mean, I acknowledge that. It's a giant waste of time to be that early to something.
Yeah,
but
I remember when Taylor Swift came to Cincinnati last year because we went to a Reds game at the same time. And, the amount of people that were down there so they could get merch was
we were
insane.
arriving a day early.
Yeah.
Like, they did the merch the day before.
Yeah, I'm like, no. No. There's nothing that a band is selling that will cause me to get there early to wait in that godforsaken line that long.
I feel like I wouldn't either for myself, but if it was for my child, like if I had a 12-year-old that needed, I think that I would say we're making this an event. We will go all day. I'll stand in line with you all day to get that Taylor Swift
Not me.
sweatshirt.
Because this, even if the child is involved, this is the perfect time for a teaching moment. We are teaching you that you are going to hear the words no a lot in your life. So waiting in a long-ass line for merch when it's 90 degrees outside is a hard no. And no means no. That's not an excuse to argue, debate, whatever. It's just a flat no. Get used to it.
You know what that would teach me? That life sucks.
It does.
That's what it would teach. No, I mean,
but it does. So
life
we're keeping
sucks
it real
in this house. I would think, you know what? I don't want to be like Dad when I grow up. When I have kids, I'm going to stand on a merch line all day with my kid because that would have been a blast.
You know
but
what's gonna
instead,
happen?
you passed up a time to bond just to make a point.
Dad's going to wait for you to be in that merch line and walk by with an ice cold water and call you a moron while you're sitting there sweating.
Going back to the pizza real quick, Joel said he's with you on the crust, no centerpieces, but Rocket said, hey, she doesn't eat the center of the brownies either. What the
I
heck?
don't. Oh
That's
my
right,
gosh,
true.
great point.
She likes the
I like
brownie,
the edges,
what do they call it, the brownie brittle?
The edges.
Is that what they call that? Brownie brittle? Isn't that what?
Oh, that's some kind of product.
Right, but that's what it is,
But
right?
I like the edges of everything. Give me the edges.
Johnny Gahana says that he would not show up early for the merch line, but he'll get there 4 or 5 hours to make sure his chest is pressed up against the gate.
Right. Yeah,
the
you want to get
stage.
your spot.
Yeah.
You want to get your spot. General
And that-
admission, baby.
That makes more sense. I get it if you're going to a GA show, sure.
Right.
But yeah, I ain't doing that for merch. Especially when, hi, newsflash, most of it you can.
Right, that's true. But yeah, I think about Sonic Temple because we're always there when the gates open each day.
Right.
And I mean, Kelly, by 1 p.m., that line at the merch is so friggin' long.
Yep.
And I think people want to make sure they get the shirt they want and the size they want, and that's why they do that. So, I mean, based on seeing that line at Sonic Temple, and that's every day we see that line early, I guess that's kind of a normal thing if you really like merch, you know. But, all right, normal or nope? Saying excuse me every time you burp, but never when you fart. How does one require manners but not the other?
Who doesn't say excuse me when they fart? That is just rude.
Well, because
Anybody in our house?
I think.
But they excuse themselves when they burp? I would
Yes.
do it the opposite.
See, I
Right?
think people are more prone to burp publicly
Yes.
than the other. So
Yes.
therefore, when you're doing it publicly, you'll say, excuse me. If you let one go publicly, you're plausible
deny it.
deniability. What I like to call the Shaggy wasn't me. But you're the only other person here. Wasn't me.
The Shaggy and me. Yeah, I don't know. But I've seen people do this. I have. I've seen people burp and say, excuse me, and I've seen people fart and say nothing. The same person I'm talking about. So, I don't know. I thought that was kind of odd. And they have a point, but maybe it is normal.
I hope you've severed your friendship with that person. That's gross.
I would not sever my friendship with Heather. Stop.
Oh, that's different. We're talking married couples. You're 30 years into farting in front of each other. You're probably done saying excuse me.
Right.
But
Okay.
I mean, in polite company, we're not excusing ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, what? But I'm not. I don't know. Farting in front of polite company. That's not.
No,
We don't do that.
Literally.
If you have to let
never.
one go publicly, do you look around to see if there's someone there you could blame it on?
No, but have you ever walked through a cloud in the grocery store of somebody who came there before you?
Oh, sure.
It is foul, man.
It is,
I am
man.
begging for someone to apologize for that one.
Although, I don't know what's worse, bodily smell or old lady perfume, because old lady perfume can choke a rhinoceros or two as well. So, it just depends on...
I'll take the perfume, man.
Okay.
If you're out, Sam said, if you're out and no one hears it, saying excuse me is like announcing to the world that, yes, that was me.
Yeah, right. I tend to agree, Lewis, and you're always trying to blame shift on that one. Who's going to apologize?
It's 8:51 on the Morning Blitz. Thick Kelly and Lewis in the heart of the Olympics. The Summer Games in Paris. Swimming in poo. Winning gold medals.
And
Knocking
them
over
down.
poles with your junk.
Knocking over poles with your junk. Yeah, we talked about this early yesterday morning. The pole vaulter, Anthony Ammirati. And if you haven't seen the video, I don't know who hasn't seen it. It is probably the most viral Olympic video. It's probably the most viral video out there right now. This French pole vaulter, he pole vaults over the pole, and his knees bump it, which keeps you from getting a medal. You have to clear it completely, but it didn't knock the stick off. But as he's coming back down, his massive package caught the stick and knocked it off. And so now I've never heard of this porn site called Cam Soda. We talk about the hub. I didn't know about the soda. Have you heard of Cam Soda, Lewis?
I have not. I have not.
Yeah. So
I'm
it's-
betting, though, it has something to do with cameras and nothing to do with soft drinks.
Right.
Kelly's awful quiet. Have you heard of Cam Soda?
No.
No, I didn't think so. So they have offered Anthony $250,000 to do a 60-minute webcam.
Wow.
Showing off his vaulting pole. $250,000 for 1 hour, Lewis. Would you do it?
Yeah.
He has no shame, Kelly. He has no shame.
You need to ask. 250 grand? Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh. I feel like I'd say no, and my wife would go, boy, get your ass in there and get that money.
Yeah. You throw in another $5, I'll even make sure it's professionally lit.
Another $5?
Maybe $5 grand. I don't know.
I don't think there's any way he's going to do this, right? I mean, I can't imagine. Well, I mean, you never know. I don't know what kind of guy he is.
Clearly, his pole vaulting career is not off to a good start. So
well, no, he didn't medal.
Pretty sure he's not going to get any other the normal Olympic endorsements that come with such feats. So therefore, maybe you have to seek alternative means.
I would rather beg Flava Flav for rent money than debase myself on a stupid website like that.
I understand.
And that's the difference between you and I.
Understood.
A baguette, so to speak, in his pants there in France. I mean, come true. Gold within his reach, oh yeah. At his athletic peak, he has the meats just like Arby's, but who knew? He leaves his feet to beat the world. Jump was strong, should've won, well we're wrong. Pole was long, not as long as his dong. Bar went bonk, that tree trunk knocked it off. Dream is gone, but his schlong will live on.
Now, all right, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
All right, well, Vice President Kamala Harris has announced that she has picked Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota as her running mate. So they are going to launch off now on a multi-state tour, campaign tour. Yes, we've been sort of waiting on that, and it has just been announced. Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota will be Kamala Harris's running mate. This is wild. The FDA is expected to decide within a week whether to allow doctors to prescribe the drug ecstasy, or MDMA, to treat PTSD. An advisory panel already has recommended against approval, citing problems with the study. And now the Wall Street Journal is reporting that reporters there talked to 3 study participants who say they were taking MDMA to treat their PTSD, and their suicidal thoughts were running wild. But that the I guess the study did not ask about those events and did not include them in their final report. It's wild. Yeah. So these suicidal thoughts were not reflected in the final results. There's a woman who agreed to be named. She's from Montreal. Her name's Sarah McNamee. She told reporters at the Wall Street Journal that the drug made her feel cracked open and dredged up memories of prior traumatic events. She says the study did not ask about those events. It focused only on one particular event related to her diagnosis, and her symptoms on that one improved. So they included that one in the study. 2 others interviewed say they did not report their own suicidal feelings because they felt pressured by therapists conducting the study to report only positive outcomes. And this Sarah McNamee said, yes, indeed, that was her experience as well, saying they made her feel like she had a serious responsibility to make sure that other people could get access to MDMA. So she was pressured into reporting and not reporting certain things. But the Wall Street Journal is saying this is a massive concern, what MDMA might bring up in a PTSD patient. According to CNN, 80 members of Congress from both parties have signed letters urging the FDA to approve it. So this is an interesting situation. Going to probably keep our eye on here and see what happens with this approving
That's
ecstasy
crazy.
to treat PTSD. People taking diabetes or weight loss drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro could be at risk of complications from surgery. This is really interesting. You know how before you have surgery, they tell you not to eat beforehand. I think you're supposed to be 24 hours, something like that, from your last meal. Well, even if these people who are taking Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, even if they had been fasting, apparently during surgery it was discovered they still had significant gastric contents. So their stomach was holding on and not emptying out.
Oh, okay.
The way it should before, as you're fasting. So very interesting. And because it could cause life-threatening problems during surgery. When food or liquid is, you aspirate that into your lungs and you could potentially die from having food contents in your stomach during a surgery. So it's just an interesting little thing. We're finding out more and more about, about drugs as more and more people use them. And that's just one interesting thing to note, that I guess if you're on Ozempic, maybe you'd have to fast for a lot longer than the normal 24 hours.
I had read that something positive from Ozempic and the other weight loss drugs is that so many people have lost weight that it has sparked a boom in the fashion retail industry because so many people have had to go buy new clothes.
Oh.
So, fashion retail is way up thanks to these weight loss drugs.
I bet that is a fun shopping spree.
I will tell you it is.
Yeah.
I know for a fact it is.
Yeah. What a blast. All right. Well, those are your three things.
All right. Looking at some hot, muggy weather today. Scattered strong storms this possible this afternoon. So be careful out there. High 93. Stay hydrated. That means your pets and your old people. Clouds and scattered showers tonight down to 67. Then tomorrow, showers in the morning, then partly cloudy. We'll cool off to 81.
Are we going to see any effects here from Debbie?
I doubt it. I think it's supposed to be moving to the northwest. Or I'm sorry. It's supposed to be moving to the northeast. Mm-hmm. So it'll be impacting Georgia and then South Carolina and off that way. I don't know if any type of outer bands would reach Ohio. It seems, but it is not moving in our direction.
Did you hear what it did down in the Florida Keys?
I have something tomorrow.
Okay.
Are you going to talk? Go ahead.
Well,
I know what you're going to talk about. Go ahead.
$1 million worth of cocaine washed up on the beach. That they think was dislodged from the bottom of the water there on the.
Yeah. I'll have something else tomorrow now.
70 pounds. That's 70 pounds, by the way. 25 packages that weighed 70 pounds worth of cocaine. Found by a Good Samaritan who contacted authorities. Again, that's like you said before, Lewis, this would be a situation that differentiates me from them.
I'd sell it. But I'd be a nice...
that could put you in prison. We're not talking about marijuana here. This is cocaine.
Yeah, but I'd be a nice one. Hi, you want to buy some cocaine? No. All right, that's cool. Do you know anybody who does? All right, thanks.
But this isn't the first time it happened. In June, recreational boaters off the coast of the Keys found 65 pounds floating in the ocean. Earlier that month, divers found 25 kilos about 100 feet underwater off Key West. May, a beachgoer found $1 million worth of cocaine washed up along the Keys. So this happens all the time.
I don't think I would sell it because I'm not that guy. But I would, when it came to law enforcement, I'd be like, dude.
We could throw a hell of a party, though.
Dude, I'm turning this all over to you. Y'all got to break me off a little something. You know what I mean?
Well, you want a half a key? You want?
No, I mean, if I'm giving
like a get out of jail free card.
Thank you. If I'm giving you $6 million worth of cocaine that's staying off the streets and out of the hands of bad people, that's got to be worth at least a third of that.
Yeah. Okay.
In reward fashion.
You wouldn't just throw a big party?
No. I don't like people enough.